Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Photography Pubcast. This is season 4, 5?
4.
Don't ask me.
Jesus Christ. I'll start again. Hello and welcome to the Photography Pubcast. This is, did I say hello and welcome or did you say hello to there?
Hey.
Hello and welcome to the Photography Pubcast. This is season 4, episode 5. Hope you guys are well. There's 5 of us here this week. There's no Dave and there's no Adam, but there are 5 of us here. We were due to have a guest, but he couldn't make it, unfortunately. But we'll book him back up in the new year, and we won't tell you who it is. We'll keep that secret, so the suspense will be for you. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. How are we all doing? We all right?
Yeah.
Good.
Talk about yourselves while I just drink my beer for a second.
Go on, Stu. You go, mate, because you're somewhere exciting.
Where are you?
I'm in the glamorous surroundings of the Premier Inn at Fort William, isn't it?
I was going to say, I knew that's a Premier Inn. You can tell from that little headboard.
Oh, the headboard.
Yeah.
I'm.
Plus, that he told us about 2 minutes ago. Where was you then? So
Where
you
was
don't
I?
pay attention.
Oh, I might have been messaging someone. I can't listen and message at the same time, Daz. Anyway, sorry. What were we saying, Stu?
I've made the extra effort to be here tonight. No, I'm on my way to run a couple of workshops on the Isle of Harris for the next fortnight, so I thought I'd pop on here and do it from the hotel room. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you on board, mate. It's good to have you on board.
Nice, mate.
It's dedication for you, that, isn't it?
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's dedication for you.
Yeah.
You got Storm coming through, haven't you?
Yeah, it's looking a little dicey because the ferry that I'm supposed to get across to Harris tomorrow night, they've already on the CalMac website said that they're to expect cancellations at short notice, which is basically their way of telling you they're going to cancel because they always cancel. And they're also potentially going to cancel Sunday's crossings as well. So my workshop that's meant to start Saturday night is looking like it's probably going to get pushed to Monday now. I've got one guy flying in to Stornoway and he's had to rebook his flight. And I've got another guy who's already on the Isle of Skye now, and I think he's going to be on the same ferry as me. He's going to be in the same predicament. So it's not looking so hot at the minute, but hopefully it'll sort itself out. Yeah, not good.
How many people have you got all together coming? Or supposed to be coming?
I've got 3 on each, so 3 the first week, 3 the second week. But what's happened? I mean, I think I'll be able to sort of navigate through this. But basically, the workshops were running obviously back to back, but there was 2 days in the middle of them that I'd booked to myself, where I was going to just get out and do a bit of my own photography and have a bit of a break between workshops. But that's looking like that's not going to happen now. But it's just as well that I'd actually booked those extra 2 days because I have a little bit of flexibility in that I can push this first group onto Monday and it won't affect it too much. But if I hadn't booked them extra 2 days, I'd be knackered, basically, because there'd be no scope to move the dates. So
yeah. Now, good old Scottish weather. I blame Sam personally.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Stu.
Yeah.
Apology accepted.
Yeah. What's everyone else been up to? Has anyone else done anything exciting? Daz, have you been scared by any birds recently? Do you want to share that story?
I can do. Yeah, that's why I'm in this chair rather than my comfortable chair. I've been on a online course all week, and it starts at 9:15, runs to about 4:30. That we've been finishing slightly early, but I just thought I'm not used to being in the office, if you like. So I thought, right, every day I'll get out, go on a nice walk. So I've been leaving home about 6 o'clock in the morning, and getting here back home for about 7:30. So it's been nice. It's been like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes work. But when I leave, it's very dark. So I've been taking a a small torch with me. And once I kind of get down through the park in by the river, it is pitch black. So I shone this torch the other day, and it was just lighting up the path. And then all of a sudden, what it appeared to be was this huge bird just sitting on the path as I was getting closer, and it really made me jump. And then I kind of realised that it was a robin, and it was the shadow that was enormous. So it just goes to show how kind of like, the dark does play tricks on your mind. But yeah, so
scary times.
It was a scary robin.
It
was a scary robin.
Scary times. What's your course been about? Can we ask? What's your course been about?
It's called the SMSTS course, which is the Site Manager's Safety Training Scheme.
Oh wow, that sounds fascinating. You've been doing that for a week.
Done it for a week.
Blimey.
Yeah. So it was all right. I'm not going to lie. It was. I got a lot out of it, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm not going to knock it. So yeah, and I was very grateful because I didn't pay for it. Someone else paid for it for me, and they paid me for the week to do it. So good qualification.
Can I get me on one? Oh, free one. I'll have a free one of them. Oh.
Not now you've just dissed it, they can't, no.
What about you, Sam? You been up to anything exciting?
No, not much. I was out Sunday morning, I think it was, in my usual haunts over in Torridon. Got absolutely drenched. I was there's you know about Joe White, Stu. There's a guy in North Carron. He's a photographer called Joe White who's got this gallery, and it's closed now for the season, but he's got a really nice little coffee shop, and it's got all of his pictures up in the back. And there's a photo of his which I really like. I've got a card of it actually, which is a tree in rain. And I was out over in Torridon the other day, and it wasn't inspiring particularly. It was not great conditions, and I was thinking, well, it's just nice to be out. It was one of those mornings where it's just nice to get out for my weekly little trip out with a camera, by the side of a loch. It didn't really take any photos, and then it just started tipping down, and I was like, well, I suppose I could go back to the car now. It doesn't look like it's going to materialize. And then I saw some trees with lots of rain tipping down, and I thought, you know what, it would be really nice to get a shot of that, a bit like Joe's, where he's got the rain coming down off a tree. And so I got all the camera gear out in the pouring rain. Umbrella wouldn't stay up. Everything got completely drenched. It was one of those sort of cases where you think, am I actually taking photos, or have I just got crap all over the front of the lens? Is everything just fogging up? Is it fogging up in the back of the camera? All of that kind of thing. And packed it in the end. And but actually had a great time, but everything was getting completely drenched. I've not actually checked the photos to see whether they came out or not yet. But on the way back, it all just cleared, and there was this sun came out. I was driving on my way home. I was going back through Kinloch U, and just looking over towards Sleoch. If anyone knows the area, there's Sleoch is a big mountain by Loch Marie, and you can see it from Kinloch U. I think Thomas Eaton took a photo of it from a similar sort of angle in one of his recent videos as well. And it was just snow on the top of a mountain, gap in the cloud, light came out, and I had the 400mm lens in the bag. So I just stopped at side of the road in Kinloch U, got out, stood next to the car park, 400mm lens, took a shot. And actually it's a really nice image. So it was one of those mornings of everything getting drenched, thinking it's a bit of a write-off of a morning, turned into, well, it was actually, I think, really quite a nice photo. I think it's going to be a nice photo anyway. I've not put it on the computer yet, but yeah. So that was my photography morning last Sunday.
Excellent. And Jamie, what about you, mate?
No, I'm sorry, Matt. I've got nothing exciting to report. My week has been sitting in this chair as it normally is. Pretty boring. I was hoping for a bit of weather down here, and I've got 2 or 3 days left of this year's holiday, so I've been banking them just in case we get some weather and taking them off at the last minute. But didn't really materialise. We had a little bit of snow, but nothing to get me out and take the day off for. So yeah, and then of course when the weekend comes and you can get out, we're going to get Storm Bert. But c'est la vie.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. And we were promised fog on last Friday, weren't we? Did you notice that? Blanket fog throughout the whole of the, most of the southern half of the UK. Nothing.
There was nothing, was there?
Absolutely nothing. I drove
We had fog here in Cambridge last week.
Did you? On Friday?
Late last week, I was at work. I can't remember, but I remember thinking, Cambridge looked really nice, So
Well, it was like literally, it was wet. So I had to go and pick my daughter up on Friday from university in Winchester, and it was literally banker that it was going to be foggy down that part of the country. So I was like, brilliant, I'll get up. I haven't got to pick her up till 4, right? So I'll get up really early, get to a New Forest for sort of 8 o'clock. Fog everywhere. Nothing. No fog. No, I didn't drive through fog. Didn't see any fog. And I was like, oh, that's okay. Not a problem, because I'll take a few shots. And then what I can really do is I can go and there's a place called Blashford Lakes or something, which is a nature reserve, and there's all hides on it. I was like, I'll go and do a photography, little photography shoot after I've done this. And then she called me up and said, oh, Dad, I'm not going to my lecture. Can you take me home early? I was like, yeah, fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I wasn't doing anything anyway. Yeah. So missed that as well. So yeah, so that was my week. Haven't done anything other than that really exciting at all.
I often see fog predicted in the lakes, and I think I've been let down in the lakes when it comes to fog more than anything. Normally, I think when we get fog here, then there normally is fog for some reason. But in the lakes, there's so many times I've looked at the forecast. It's tomorrow there's fog, like 90% chance of fog or something, and clear as a bell.
I'd imagine.
Mountains.
I was going to say.
Though.
So I was going to say. I'd imagine not knowing anything about it. I'd imagine it's because where we are is relatively flat.
Exactly.
So if you get fog in one bit, you're going to get it in another bit.
Yeah.
Whereas there, you've got the mountains breaking up.
Yeah.
Everything. So you might get fog in one. Valley. Or whatever, but not in another one.
Yeah.
And you can have that bit of advice for free there, Daz.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, you're welcome. Before we go any further, we just want to talk about the competition, because we haven't even mentioned the competition this year, have we? Normally we've got entries coming in and everything going on, but we haven't even mentioned it. So I think what we'll do is we'll talk about the competition. We'll start the entries this week and we'll run it up to New Year's Eve, and we'll say that 11:59 on New Year's Eve. Who's going to be putting in a competition? Oh, it's 11:59 on New Year's Eve. I must get my I must get my Pubcast competition entry in. No, but we'll run it up to then, and anything that hasn't gone in by then, we'll then run it over to next year. So, competition this year, what we're going to do, I think we're going to say 2 entries per person maximum. So if you want to get them in, should we say 2? Do you reckon 2's fair?
2's,
yeah, right.
Yeah. So we say two entries per person. I think, I haven't discussed this with anybody, but I think they should be shot in 2024. I don't think they should be shot prior to 20. Yeah.
Well, how many photos would you have to enter from 2024?
Well, this is me. I don't have to enter them. But...
No, I don't. I think last 3 years.
I think 4.5.
You are being so harsh. You really are. For someone that's taken about half a dozen photos in the last 9 months.
Okay, scrap that then. Just enter anything. If you've got one on a box brownie, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. So okay, any photo you want. Just put anything in. A million per person limit. No. 2 per person, any photo, any genre?
Any genre.
Yeah, why not?
Any genre?
Yeah.
So landscape, wildlife, sport, street, boudoir, any genre you want is fine. And the only thing I'm going to say is, when you put them in, this is the boring stuff. Can you make them 1600 by so minimum of 1600 on the long side, or 1200 on the high side. So they don't have to be that ratio, but if they're portrait, for instance, they need to be taller than 1200, and if they're landscape, they need to be wider than 1600 or 1600 or wider. That
I
makes sense
suggest
to me.
you put that in the description of the
Yeah,
video,
I'll put it in the
so
description.
people can be clear.
Yeah.
Well,
Just don't send
confusing to me.
piddly tiny pictures is what I'm trying to say. Make sure they're quite, reasonable size. Don't send massive ones either, because they probably won't arrive on the email, but don't send tiny ones.
He's
so
so
they're pixelated
fussy,
when they
isn't
get
he?
there.
I want it
send-
this size. I want it that size. I want it from this year. I only want to do 2. Is there a group? Blimey.
For simplicity,
Yeah,
why don't
but-
we just have one length of the shortest side as being the minimum?
1600 long edge. That's
Yeah.
all you need to say.
1600 long edge minimum.
It's in Lightroom
Done.
settings.
Yeah, so the longest edge, whether that be that. Anyway, you get it. You're all photographers, and if you don't understand that, then don't send in a photo. Can you hear that?
What is
Hey
it?
up, it's the boyfriend from Derby's here. Hey up, hey up. He's so fucking noisy. If you hear that, I'm sorry. We haven't moved up north. He's just northern lad. Lovely.
Not north.
Oh, it's north from here. Trust me.
North of you.
Yeah. Anyway,
East Woodlands.
yeah. So competition.
And
what else was I
prizes?
going to say?
What was the prizes? Have we got anything?
Oh God, I don't know. I haven't got anything.
Bragging rights. There we go. You get.
What have you got? Have you got?
I've got a little low pro bag I can give. It's brand new.
There you go.
Yep, it's not very
First
good.
prize.
I'm not going to sell it, but it's
First prize, little low pro bag. Second prize, 2 little low pro bags. No, okay, yeah, brilliant. And I'm sure we'll find something else. Like I think Stu and Adam said they'd do a joint workshop and have you free of charge in Lofoten, all expenses paid for the week. Yeah,
I must have been very generous that day.
I better start entering.
Stu, I'm just trying to make the low pro bag sound good. That's all. When you go, we're not doing that, and they'll go, oh well, we're going to get a low pro bag though. Okay, so we'll find some prizes. It'll be fine. And the other thing I wanted to say is,
Ask him if he wants to join us.
just get up.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say was that there's another new podcast. A podcast come, podcast go. Who's gone this week? Who's back this week?
Just push.
Just ignore it.
Just
ignore it.
Push on, mate. Push on.
Move on. Just
push on. We need to explain that Gary's getting distracted by an in-law, a friendly in-law.
Anyway, yes, there's a new podcast this week, which is the Photo Peeps. So the Photo Peeps are now doing a podcast. So it's no longer the F7.1. It's a splinter group of the F7.1. I don't know.
Splitter.
Yeah.
It's a
I don't know
splitter.
I don't know if we're going to have the other 4 doing another one called something else, but yeah.
So who are the 3 out of the 7 that was doing this one?
It's Darren Morehouse, Daniel Bennett, and Daz Waite. They're doing this one.
Right.
Yes, thanks, Stu. Appreciate it as well. And you did a thumbs up. You did a thumbs
did
up
I?
without
Oh,
realizing.
right.
Yeah.
I know that's how, but
Yeah, so they're doing it, and actually, it sounds quite interesting. They're going to do what Daz would never do. They're going to invite people on, like literally put the link up and invite people on to come on to their podcast and just ask random questions. So,
like a live
suicidal, that.
like a live, I don't think they're going to record it live, but I think they're going to have them on. So they're going to put the link up to wherever they're recording.
Anyone can join.
And just invite anyone on. Anyone can join in, just a bun fight, just a free-for-all.
Does that mean we can all go on?
We could all go on, yeah. We should crash it, shouldn't we?
I'd go on theirs, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
fine.
wouldn't ever have one of your own, though. Do you remember that one we did? You weren't there, were you, Daz?
I wasn't there. No, I made sure I wasn't on that week.
Oh, my God, that was... Oh.
And what did you say? You said that was an absolute disaster.
It was a disaster, yeah. It was a disaster. Not. I'm not knocking the people who came on. It's just the problem is when you've got a lot of people and they're not used to doing it, there's no... It's just relentless everyone talking over the top of everyone else, and there's no sort of, it's very difficult. So good luck with that, guys. Yeah, good luck with that. And we'll all gate crash it at one point. So look forward to that. Yeah, so we've done that bit. We've done what we've been up to. We've done that little bit of admin. What's everybody drinking? Shall I go first? I'm drinking San Miguel, which is my own San Miguel, by the way. I haven't stolen it off of my daughter's boyfriend. What about you guys?
It's the soft drink because I've been driving.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the Heineken Zero at the moment.
Okay.
I've only got one beer in the fridge, so I'm going to go and get that in a minute. So
okay. Jamie, what was that? Sup,
mate.
Sup, innit?
What is sup?
It's Northern Monk Lager and Lime, I think. I thought it was. I think we've had this one before. We've had this conversation. I thought it was something else, but I bought a whole pack and they're in the fridge, so I had to drink them up. So they're right.
Okay.
Sup.
Sam, what about you, Sam? What are you drinking?
I'm on the Sky Gold from the Sky Brewing
okay.
Company. It's very good, actually.
Good.
Very nice. I also have a San Miguel as a backup.
Okay. What? Just in case you didn't like it, or you're just going to drink that as
no,
well?
It's just I'm going to move on. I've already had a San Miguel before this one, and I've been it's a Sky Brewing Company sandwich between two San Miguels.
Okay. Okay. How's everyone feeling? Feeling this is going well tonight? Is everyone feeling this is going well tonight? I'm, not sure.
Well, normal.
Not 100% sure. I feel like it's a bit of a car crash. But it'll be fine. At least we haven't got random people on. Right, okay, so let's move on to a topic. This is one that you wanted to bring up, Daz. So why don't you introduce it and talk about it? Selling gear, not drugs. I mean, photography gear.
Yeah, so I'm not going to name, obviously, kind of any names, but there's a friend of the show, a friend of mine, friend of the show. He's decided to kind of sell all of his photography equipment. And then, I don't know, I think it was about a week ago, maybe a fortnight ago, I just saw someone on Facebook and they was doing exactly the same. And I was thinking, well, unless you need the money, where I know this one particular person, a friend of mine, he doesn't need the money. So he's not doing it for any kind of financial reasons. He's doing it purely because he can't commit to the hobby at the moment. But he's selling all of his gear. And I just thought, would you ever consider, if you didn't need the money, would you actually ever consider selling your stuff? Even though you couldn't get out as much as perhaps you used to get out, or you're not as enjoying it as much. But once you've bought it, and and he's got a lot of stuff, some real top end gear, surely it's best just to leave it on the shelf. Even if you get out a couple of times a year, it gives you so much pleasure. But he's decided to sell up completely, and then if he feels that he wants to take the hobby back up in 5 years' time, he will then rebuy everything. So what are your thoughts on falling out with the hobby is one thing, but then being quite radical and then selling everything to do with that hobby?
Well, I'll just go really quickly with a very small comment, and then I'll let someone else jump in. But I just don't understand people who buy gear and then sell that gear only to probably buy it back later, Daz.
I knew that was coming. I knew that. I didn't sell all of my gear. I just sell the odd lens
and ball head,
and then buy it back. Yeah. But apart from that,
personally, I can't understand the reasoning behind it, unless they're doing it as almost like a bit of closure to say, if I don't have the gear, then I don't have not the temptation, but if I don't have the gear, then I know that I've given it up.
Well,
have I given it up?
What you just said was exactly the reason that he gave.
Yeah.
That was the reason.
I can kind of understand that, because if you've not got gear, you're no longer a photographer, if that makes sense. If you just get rid of it all, there's no way you could say, do you know what, today, shall I go out today? It takes that out of the equation.
You're always a photographer. If you've got a phone in your hand, you can.
Yeah, no, okay. No, okay, but I mean like a hobbyist photographer, it takes that out of the equation, doesn't it? And maybe he was thinking, he's sat there and he's maybe beating himself, over the head because he's not going out and using the gear. So maybe if he sells it, then he's got an excuse now, or he's got a reason never to go out and use it because he hasn't got it anymore. Personally, not something I would do. If I didn't need the money, I would, because I know, we all know, I would be pretty confident that at some point in the next X months, he's going to think, shit.
Exactly.
I wish I'd never sold that.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful day, and I really, I've seen an image from someone, and I really, this weather forecast is amazing. I've got some time on my hands, but I can't go and do it now because I don't have a camera anymore.
That was the thing that shocked me as much, because I've obviously we know who this is that you're talking about, but I've messaged him and he's messaged me lots of times, and I keep saying to him, "Any regrets then? Any regrets?" And he says, "No regrets. No, I'm fine with it." But the fact that he was doing so much photography, he vlogged, he would take pictures, and he's a good photographer, and prints and selling them in galleries and stuff. So it's not as though he was just a part-time photographer. He was well into it. So to cut it off completely is harsh, and it surprised me that he decided to sell up. But the reasons that you've just said, Gary, was the only things that I could think of, that he just wanted to not have the ability to go out and do it, and then force him to focus on his family and other things, because he's got other interests and other hobbies that he wants to move to. But I've said to him jokingly so many times, I said, how long is it going to be before you start buying again and miss it? Because we all know it's a bit of a drug, isn't it? I think if you're really into it as much as we are, and you enjoy it as much as we do, then it's difficult to just stop it all the time and never go back to it. You've got that inbuilt love of photography, so you are going to want to get back into it at some point. But yeah, it's his decision. He's got his reasons, and obviously respect it. But no, I would never want to do that myself. I would always keep my gear just in case I want to start up again, without a doubt. And I don't think
sorry,
he's.
I know. Sorry.
All I was going to say, I don't think financially, from what I understand, he's got a lot back for it, certainly, and what he wanted to get back. So I think he's, it's not as though he's made much out of his sale either. So.
No, and I was going to say, just before Sam and Stu have their opinion. So it's not like he's just selling a camera or a lens. We're talking everything, literally tripods, filters, bags, everything's going. So if you think hypothetical numbers, it's worth $5,000, probably worth a hell of a lot more. But if you think it's worth $5,000, and he's only going to get what, 50%, he's going to get 2.5 for it. And if he decides if he decides to take it up again, he's then lost all of that money.
Yeah.
But anyway, Stu, Sam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Shall I go? Yeah. Well, I don't. It's not something I would do personally, if that's the question, because I'm a complete hoarder, and I never sell anything, which is why I've got umpteen outdated old camera bodies sat on that shelf there, because I just won't sell anything. Although I did sell some lenses to MPB recently, so I wouldn't get anything. So I don't really understand that, but I can understand it from the point of view of just wanting to draw a line under it. It's almost like I'd imagine if you break up with someone and you want to get all their stuff out of your house so that you're not reminded of them all the time. If it's something where you just make that decision of, do you know what, I'm done, or I need to have a break. So it's kind of like a psychological thing. So I can understand it from that point of view. And I know it's not the case in this particular instance, but I can also understand it from a financial point of view. And when it comes to depreciation and things like that, if you've got digital cameras, if you're not going to use it for the next 3 years, you may as well probably sell it now and then buy another one in 3 years' time, if you know that you're going to be having a gap of 3 years. But personally, would I do it? Absolutely not. And I've got other things which have, so like my guitars, that amplifier has not been turned on. In fact, it doesn't even work. It needs a service. I've not played guitar now for probably about 2 or 3 years, and I've still got all my guitars, all my effects pedals, my amps and things, because I know one day I will pick it up and I will start doing it again. It's just, it's not I'm just having a break from it for the time being. And so I think it's different things for different people. If I had a certain situation, I can understand just wanting to draw a line under something and just get it out of sight and out of mind. But at the same time, if it's just a hobby and you think, oh, I might come back to it in a few years' time, but unless there's a depreciation effect involved, then no, I wouldn't sell everything.
Stu?
I mean, yeah, similar to Sam. I mean, I wouldn't do it myself. It sounds like an emotional decision, but then, in my experience, as a bunch, I'd say photographers are quite emotional characters anyway. I mean, you do see it a lot with photographers that swing from one end of the kind of scale to the other in terms of loving it and then hating it, ditching camera gear like this and selling it and whatever. But no, it's not something I would do. I mean, similar to Sam, I've got golf equipment in my house that I had an enforced sort of gap in my golf for 8 years, and then I took it back up again last year. But never at any point did I consider getting rid of the gear or anything, because I knew at some point I'd come back to it. And mine wasn't so much falling out of love of the game; it was more enforced because of family circumstances. But even still, I could never see a situation where, similarly, if it was photography, I would sort of get rid of the gear unless I financially needed to. But no, everyone's different, aren't they? Everyone sort of reacts to things differently. I'm pretty easy going with my photography, to be honest. So I don't really sort of swing up and down on the sort of spectrum of emotions with it. So yeah.
I was going to pick up on that. I've got a couple of points to pick up on, actually. That really sums photographers up and creative people up. I think that you do go through these periods of very high and very low, and well, I certainly do anyway, where everything's amazing and everything's awful. And I think that's part of being creative in some respects. Having that creative mind is you are often harsh on yourself, or you are often very like loving on yourself, if you like, and you give yourself those big highs and those big lows. But and probably that may have played into it. That might have played into why this particular person has decided to sell up, because I know that he gets I think he gets a bit disheartened. Well, he was getting a bit disheartened with YouTube at times, with with sort of lack of traction and lack of views, and why we all do that from time to time as well. The second thing I wanted to say was MPB, right? This is a bit off topic, but MPB, why would anyone use MPB now when eBay have no selling fees?
Because MPB, you get a warranty when you.
No, I mean selling.
Yeah,
selling.
But it's the same thing. See, I wouldn't buy off of eBay.
No, but would you sell it on eBay?
No, yeah, but if you sold on eBay, I'm not too sure. I mean, I might be wrong, but how many people would be comfortable buying from eBay? So if it was me, I know you're talking about selling, but if it was me buying, I wouldn't even entertain eBay. Who knows what's wrong with that camera, what's that lens until you've got it. At least with MPB, you're going to get a warranty with it. So I think a lot more people will be comfortable buying from MPB rather than eBay.
Well, yeah, so I agree with that. But selling wise, there's no. Go on, Sam. You go.
I was going to come in just because I've literally just sold 2 lenses to MPB in the last couple of months, and the reason was, and I probably could have got a better price for them on eBay, although I wasn't actually that unsatisfied with the price I did get for them. They weren't particularly good lenses, but it was convenience. And I've sold lenses on eBay before and had faff and issues with the people buying them.
Exactly.
And I just can't be asked with it, to be honest. And I probably could have got an extra £150 if I'd sold it on eBay, but it would have been more faff. And I'm at that point where I just I'm just like, it's just easy. I'll send it to MPB. And
I love you guys just like, yeah, it's just 150 quid.
I know, but like for me, like for convenience of it, but I just had to bung it in the box. It was collected from my door. I didn't have to leave my house. It was just gone, and I didn't have to think about it.
And the funds get transferred really quickly, don't they?
Yeah,
as soon as they got it. Yeah,
I've got it. Unless eBay selling has changed since I last done it, I had an absolutely stupid photography related selling incident on there before I actually took up photography. I sold a phone on there, and the guy who bought it, when he received this phone, he did a test of the camera. He wanted to test this phone was working order and everything. So he took it into a pitch dark room and tried to take pictures with it, in his words, to test the sensor, right? Get this. And of course, anyone who knows a shred about photography would know that even in a pitch dark room, the camera will try and get light onto the sensor, even if it's a tiny amount. So you'd see digital noise on the sensor, wouldn't you? So he took some pictures of basically a pitch dark room, but because they were grainy with a bit of digital noise on them, he sent it back. He raised the case with eBay to say that the camera was faulty. And my funds that I was due to receive got put on hold and everything. And then I ended up having to go through a big, long sort of case with eBay. Took about 28 days to fix it. And in the end, I had to get the phone back off him. There was nothing wrong with the phone. But from the seller's point of view, unless it's changed, you've got very little protect. Someone can literally just claim anything's wrong with your item, and you've no protection. They can just send it back, and even if it's perfectly fine, like mine was. So.
Okay.
I had a similar situation with a guitar pedal as well, which I sold on eBay, and because the guy came around and collected it in person, and then he brought it back, and I gave him a refund, but for some reason I can't remember the ins and outs of it, but I ended up still having to pay the selling fees for it. So it cost me, and I haven't sold. I've still got the pedal somewhere. It cost me a certain amount of money, so I just can't be asked with it. Yeah.
All the protections on the buyer side, not the seller side. That's the problem with it.
Yeah, no, I must admit, I'm the same. I'm the same as the guys. I like to, because obviously I have a lot of experience with selling to MPB. I have a lot of experience of buying from MPB. So, yeah, I just like that. I just like that, you type it in what you think it's worth or the quality. They offer you a quote. You box it up. They send you a label. You send it off, and they agree with the condition, and then the money's just transferred like that. You don't have to meet any buyer, on the doorstep. No one coming around your house. And as you say, I know, to some people, that little bit extra money will make a difference. But I'd rather lose kind of 50 or 100 quid knowing that it's just gone, and I can buy it back in a month's time.
Yeah, I get your point, and I get your point, Stu, about the buyer protection, and maybe.
I should say though, I'm no massive lover of.
Why are you eating little blue pills?
Oh, millions!
What is going on in that Premier Inn? Oh, okay. I just wondered because you've eaten about 15 of them since we've been on.
He was feeling the pace of the podcast is a bit slow. In about half an hour, it was all of a sudden going to pick up again.
Yeah. He's going to peak soon.
Yeah, drop a few, and I'll be bouncing off the wall soon. No, I was going to say I'm no great lover. I think the process with MPB is good and everything. It's convenient, but they do scalp you on something. I've had a couple of instances with them where they are generally pretty good, but I tried to trade a drone in with them a couple of years ago, and it had barely been out of the box, and they wanted to give me like 40% of its value, and I'd only had the thing about a month. So they're not infallible, but they are pretty good.
Yeah.
This podcast is not sponsored by MPB.
I would love this podcast to be sponsored by MPB.
Would you?
That would be my dream.
You're the poster boy for them.
I am the poster boy, yeah.
They love you, mate. They love you. The other question I was going to ask was, Sam, have you got a wah-wah pedal?
I do, yeah.
Right. And do you have a pedal? And I'm really reaching back into my mind here from when I used to play in a band, right?
Big Muff?
Was it called a Grunge Master?
No, but I've
pedal?
got Big Muff.
What? Don't want to know about your personal life. It's just
it's Big Muff
okay.
Pie. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You was in a band?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a band, yeah.
What was it called?
Sick to Death. STD for short.
I'm sure you've mentioned that before in the podcast. I've heard that.
Yeah, I wasn't very good. We used to. I didn't get as far as actually doing a gig. I was in it for about 6 months playing the bass. And then one day, I've told this story before. I'm sure I've told this story before. One day, I turned up to band practice, and there was another lad there with a like younger, better looking, longer hair with a bass guitar, and I thought, hello, I'm getting kicked out here. And lo and behold, I was kicked out of the band, but the band never went anywhere. So, I think they did about 3 gigs. Yeah. Our best song, I think, was called Cast Out, it was called, and it was about an angel who had been cast out of heaven into hell. So you can imagine what the band was like. I would call us shit. Yeah, that's what I would call us. It was one of those. I bet Sam being like a proper musician would never have had this. But we used to do this so many times. We used to go to practice, and there'd be like, so I'd be on the bass, and there'd be a lad on the rhythm guitar, and another guy on the lead guitar, and a singer, and a drummer. And you get there, and you start playing, and you go, oh, my guitar's not loud enough. Just turn it up a couple of notches. And then the other guitarists go, can't hear my guitar now, turn it up. And the singer goes, can't hear me singing now, turn it up. And I had to turn it up. By the end of it, everything was on 10 because everyone just turned it up, like up and up and up and up so they could be heard. It's shocking. We were shockingly bad. But, if you're looking for a bassist, anybody, Oasis for your next tour, you want a bassist?
That's what you mean.
Yeah, as long as you play Cast Out, we'll be fine. Yeah, so I was in a band. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Yeah. Hello, Stu's moved.
Stu's moved.
Yeah,
Stu's moved.
I was sort of leaning on the bed, and it wasn't that comfortable.
Yeah.
Sort of.
You look really cash though, mate. You look
did.
really good.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Luxurious surroundings.
Yeah.
We should all be on a chaise lounge.
Yes. Good song that. Good song that.
Yeah.
Bit of wet leg. Love a bit of wet leg.
All day long.
All day long. Wet leg.
What? All day
wet
long
leg.
On the chaise lounge.
Yeah.
With a bit of wet
Good
leg.
song. They went to school and they got the big D.
You guys live on a different bloody planet, don't you?
Yeah. Right. Anyway. So, moving on, you'll see that we've had a bit of a break because Stu's moved into a more comfortable position now. Although he looked very comfortable where he was, he looks less comfortable now because he's sat up.
He's quite
he's upright,
now.
whereas a bit more horizontal. The blue pills have obviously done their job. Yeah, they've obviously done their job. Right. So. That's good, Stu, because we've got a great bit coming up that you're going to love. We're going to move on here to whinge of the week, and Jamie's got something now. He says a little whinge of the week. Is it a little whinge of the week, Jamie?
I'll tell you the story. So yes, I obviously Gary puts the message on each week about topics and things and who's going to be doing what, and he's asked, does anybody have a whinge of the week, which was WOTW, is abbreviated. So my response is yes, I've got a small WOTW. Left it at that, and of course the comedian in the group, the one Mr. Daz, came back to say, you have a small wart on the willy.
Yeah.
And of course, I haven't got a small wart on the willy, Darren. Thanks for your concern. I have a small whinge of the week. My whinge of the week, and it is small. It's to do with Christmas shopping, actually, in a way, because I had
not Christmas again.
Yeah, but it's not Christmas in that respect, but it is connected. So one of our lads has asked for something specific. Well, not asked for something specific for Christmas, but he said, if you're going to buy me something, I would like this. So went on Amazon last Sunday to look at this particular thing, and I won't say what it was. He might be watching, but I went to look at this particular item and I found it, and it was £129 on Amazon, this particular thing that he wanted. So I thought, okay, well it didn't say anything about Black Friday sales, so I thought we'll leave it and see what comes on for the sales. So I went on there yesterday, exactly the same item, and it's now gone up to £134, exactly the same item. Now, I'm a Amazon Prime user. Leslie, my wife, isn't. So Leslie went on as a non-Amazon Prime user, £119 for her.
Oh,
that's naughty.
And exactly the same item. And I looked into it to see what's going on, and I think it might be something called dynamic pricing. And I don't think it's just Amazon that doing this. I think it's the holiday.
Talk to me about dynamic pricing.
That's Oasis all over again. It's Oasis.
But I assume it's the case if you show interest in a certain item, they can load, or they've got some sort of algorithm that knows who you are. So next time you go on, log in as yourself, it's you showed interest, so we'll put the price up a bit. But if that's the case, that's just horrible, isn't it, to do that to somebody just because they showed interest in something?
I do know this is a thing with flight tickets and hotels.
Yeah.
So what happens is that they read your
IP address.
IP address. So they've got your IP address, and you go on the first time and you look, and you go on again, and it goes, this IP address has been on here looking at this before, and they put the price up.
Yeah.
So basically, go on, use a VPN, go on again, see what price you get that next time. It might not work with you though, because it might be your login. It might have got your Amazon Prime account. It might look that way. It is cheeky. Look at the whole. Look at the whole furore with the Oasis tickets. I mean, that was an absolute shit show. That was shocking. I mean, I think the tickets that I got, were slightly inflated from what they should be. But if I'd have gone on another hour later, they'd have been twice the price.
Yeah.
And they know people are desperate for them, so they can do that. But it's ridiculous.
But it makes a mockery because, as I say, because Leslie's not a Prime user and I'm a Prime user, you think because you're a Prime user you're going to get a better deal. But a non-Prime user got £10 cheaper than I could get it for. It's just not on. So bloody Amazon.
I'll give you a hack, Jamie. I'll give you a hack. Right?
Go on.
This works every time. So I might put this as the title. 7 tips to get better. When you go on, so say you're on your phone, right? You're on your phone and you're looking, right? Just go, nah, don't think. And then it will think that you don't really want it. So the next time you go on, it will look, and if you give it that face again, it will lower the price for you. Works every time. Yeah.
I'll try that. Thanks for that.
Yeah, give that a go. Give that a go. That joke bombed, didn't it? Is that it? Is that your whinge of the week?
That was. I said it was a small one.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
good
it.
One, though.
Yeah.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah,
really good.
Actually, I was buying a phone recently, and I was getting really annoyed with the pricing structures for those as well. And I to the point where I wrote it on my list of potential things to stick down for a whinge of a week for. And it's they do the same things. If this is a particular phone company, I don't know whether I should name which one it is, but it's.
I don't think they're watching.
No, that's true, but they might have algorithms and stuff. Anyway, it's probably all of them, but they have the price of a phone, and it divides it into your monthly subscription and then your monthly paying off the cost of a phone. Yeah. And when you look at the different phone models, the price of the contract changes according to the phone, so you still end up paying the same amount or more. So it will say, you're only paying £15 a month for the phone, or you can have this phone where you're only paying £16 a month for a phone or whatever. But the price of exactly the same contract deal was different for each of the different phones, so you're still paying the same amount of money, and it's just a complete mockery. You're not paying for what you think you're paying for. I ended up just buying a back market one in the end. It's much better.
Do you know what? There's some really, really clever people in business. No, in business. On here, not on here. No.
I tell you what, when Sam mentioned algorithms, we should have been talking about the Sony A1 Mark II. if we just keep mentioning that all night, and the algorithm will pick that up, because that's coming.
I'll put it in the title. I'll put
it in the title.
Photography Pubcast, not talking about Sony.
Yeah.
A1 Mark II.
Yeah.
And now to still pick it up.
Because it was flooded, wasn't it, a couple of days ago? Everybody got their cameras 2 weeks ago, and then
it all is, and they're told to put it out at the same time, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they
so
have
just
to,
like yeah. What I was going to say before you interrupted me rudely, is I was going to say there's some really clever people out there though, because
thanks, mate.
Who thought up the mattresses last for 8 years? Someone about 3 or 4 years ago went, do you know what? We're not selling enough mattresses, right? We sell a mattress and people buy it and it lasts them for 25 years. We need to make some shit up here. Why don't we say that mattresses only last for 8 years? And now every mattress manufacturer says, don't forget, your mattress only lasts for 8 years. So now people, not me, by the way, now people go, oh my God, we've had our mattress for 7.5 years. We need to get a new mattress.
Yeah, well, they probably do, don't they?
No.
Well, you think
that.
Yeah, you think so? You think?
No.
I mean, don't get me
wrong,
wrong,
it depends what you're doing on it, I guess.
Well, but you spend a third of your life in that thing. So I'd imagine it's not like, you don't use it, you only use it now and again. I mean, you use it kind of 7 days a week for a third of your life. So I would imagine that 8 years is about right.
No,
I think you're just being cynical.
No, well, clearly.
How old's your mattress?
7 years, 11 months. No, but it's like I will guarantee you, right? I will guarantee you. You got your, what is the iPhone at the moment? 16, right? iPhone 16, isn't it? They've already got planned, I reckon, up to about iPhone 20, and they've got all the upgrades and they're all available and they're all ready to go, but they're holding them back. They're holding them back from us because they want people to go, oh, this next, because if I were to go, right,
it's the same with cameras as well, isn't it?
Yeah. If you were to go, I've got, I know, I'm not disagreeing with you. It is the same with everything. But if you were to go, here, have everything that we've got, that we've invented, and then we'll go off and invent some more stuff, they wouldn't be able to sell stuff to you every single year, would they?
No.
It's all a massive, we are being absolutely ripped off left, right, and centre and conned by everybody. I've had enough.
Irritates the hell out of me, especially for. I mean, phones are one of the worst as well. I only upgraded.
Did you just fold your arms then? Disgust. I've had enough.
Talk to the financial ombudsman.
What would they do, though?
Sorry, Sam.
I was just going to have a rant about phones because I only ever use my phone for checking Instagram, occasionally Facebook, phoning my parents, and texting you guys. That's pretty much all I use my phone for. And I have an iPhone 7, which is ancient, and I was perfectly happy with it. Does everything I need it to do. I can do all of those free things with it. And the only reason I upgraded it is because I now can't access my online banking with it because it won't upgrade to the latest system. It's just
what's that called?
It works
intentional
fine.
Obsolescence.
Yeah, exactly.
Intentional obsolescence.
Yeah. It does everything I need it to do, and I'm forced to have to buy a new one. And it's just wasteful. It's bad for the environment, and it really irritates me.
I'm sure I heard a story somewhere, whether it was anecdotal from somebody that had heard it or whether I've heard it online or something, that there was a guy went to repair someone's photocopier, and he said that
movie.
No, he said that don't worry about repairing it because within 6 months, this photocopy is going to be obsolete anyway, because it's got almost got a switch in it and it will just stop working because they want you to upgrade and buy the next one. It's shockingly bad. Thank you, Jamie. That was a good. In the end,
that was a segue into a multiple whinge fest, wasn't it?
It started off as a bad subject. Well, not bad, but mediocre, Jamie. Mediocre at best.
Yeah.
But it got better. It got better with other people's input. So thank you for that, Jamie.
I am to please.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for that, Jamie. Much appreciated. Are we all done on that? Is there anyone want to add anything to that? No. Okay. Okay. Well, then, Daz, you wanted to, because this will lead nicely into the next topic that we're going to talk about, but you wanted to talk about your 28-200 lens, Daz.
Yeah. So on Mr. McGlennon's recommendation about a year ago, I bought the 28-200 Tamron lens, and I've used it very little. I took it up to Walla Crag one day. It was a particular hike, and it was very, very overcast that day. And I didn't take my tripod, and this particular lens, excuse me, this particular lens doesn't have any IBIS. And I really struggled with that lens. Nothing wrong with the lens, but I just thought, without the IBIS, I might as well end up taking a tripod. And if I'm going to take the lens and a tripod, I may as well just take my 24-105 that does have IBIS. Anyway, I was kind of talking myself in and out of this. But we was in the lakes a few weeks ago, and I took my 24-105, my 100-400, and I took my 16-35. I used a 16-35 once, I think, and I did need it. It was very helpful that day. The other two lenses I used all the time, but it was incredibly heavy. And the whole time I was there, I regretted not taking that 28-200. Now I know, I don't want to choose my words right, because I know Stu was going to kind of not say disagree with this, but I don't believe that 28-200 is as sharp as my, say, 100-400 G Master. But I realise now I really do need to start using that 28-200 a lot more on these hikes, even if I take the small travel tripod, because the reach that it's got, it's so versatile, that lens, and I keep dragging two quite large lenses up those fells, and I think I just can't keep doing this. So I know, because also we're going to come on to Stu's video or his subjects shortly, but it was more of that particular lens. I'm definitely going to start using that a lot more, because your equivalent, Stu, I mean, that is all you use, isn't it?
Is there a question here, Daz, or was that the question?
No,
it
wasn't. It was more of a statement about that lens. Moving on to what Stuart actually uses almost like full time.
Well, mine's a 24-200, and the IBIS in the lens, I think there isn't an IBIS switch on it or anything, but it works. There is IBIS in the lens that works with the body. But the question I was going to say to you is, don't you use like an A7R5 or an A1?
A1, yeah.
Hasn't that got like 7 stops of IBIS in it anyway?
No, it's got 5.5, yeah. And as I say, I'm not knocking it.
No, I'm just thinking, because the IBIS in the body would take care of probably quite a lot of that anyway.
It does what, yeah. But I think, because, see, this is my own fault. I've not. So again, I'm choosing my words. Not that I've not persevered with it, but I haven't shot it that much. And I think really the first day that I really went to use it for its purpose, which was up the fells, we had, like, in the end we couldn't see anything. It was like thick fog. But prior to that, the sky was so dark, and the ISO was so high. And I thought, I really wish I would have brought my tripod. And then I just kind of started thinking all of this stuff. Yeah. But I need to persevere with that lens a hell of a lot more.
Daz, before Sam jumps in, I just want to say to the people who are watching, just in case you don't know what IBIS is, it's a small South African antelope. Sam, what were you going to say?
Actually, I was pretty much gonna. I think Stu's already answered. I was going to say, because you could just use for IBIS that's built into the camera.
Yeah,
because I do that with my 200, because I've got the 70-200 EF, which is the non-stabilized version, the cheapy one, and I just use that with the inbuilt stabilization in the R5, and it actually works pretty well. And then just push the ISO up. But I suppose I'm quite happy pushing ISO these days. If I need to go up to 800, 1000, I'm fine with that. I'd rather do that than lug a tripod with me half the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about your experience, Stu, with the lens that you shoot with, because I know, as I say, the lens I'm referring to is pretty much the equivalent of the lens that you shoot with, near enough.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a 100 to 400 like you, and it is sharper than that 24-200, much like your 100-400 will be as well to your 28-200. But it's just convenience. I mean, we touched on that video that I've just put out, and I've tested all these lenses and I've scrutinized them, as much as anyone will in Lightroom. But I'd take flexibility, 100 times out of 100 over marginal gains in image quality, because in the grand scheme of things, if it's like you're saying there, if you're up the fell and you really wish you had that lens instead of lugging the other ones, did it stop you taking a shot or whatever? I'd take flexibility every time. I really would.
I think what Stuart's trying to say, Daz, is stop worrying about gear.
Not worried about gear.
Yeah.
No,
stop
do you know
worrying
what?
about gear.
I think, like joking aside, but I don't think I've ever taken a worthy shot when I've been hiking. So my point is, when I've gone out purposely to take a photo, a reasonable amount of time, I come back with an image that I'm fairly kind of happy with. When I just go out purely for the hike, I've never really taken a shot because I leave at different times. I'm in midday, that kind of thing, but I still drag all these great big lenses up there, and that's when I'm thinking, no, I have to stop doing this. If I'm going out,
you put out a number of images on your last trip to the lakes. Yeah, were you hiking then, or were they specifically photography images? Because they were really good. So don't put yourself down, mate. It's what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't. Yeah, there was one hike where the conditions were good, but the other times, a lot of them shots that perhaps you're referring to was actually low down. They wasn't actually on my hikes as such,
Okay.
So only one.
You've got one of some light and some crispicular rays, sort of, and then the layers of the.
Yeah, that was the hike that I'm referring to. That
was a good shot.
Thank you. It
was all right.
Thanks, mate.
Not as good as some I've seen, but it's all right.
So, but yeah, now I've kind of I've made the segue. Perhaps we should talk about Stu's gear video.
Well, before we talk about Stu's gear video, I really do want to just jump in and say, Daz, I do have a question for you, and I'd imagine that quite a few people watching will probably have this question as well.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going into the jungle?
I know what you're talking about. I thought it was Woody.
Oh, could be.
You need to explain that.
Look over your shoulder. Look over your shoulder.
Oh, there.
Yeah. When are you going into the jungle? I'd imagine people have probably noticed that hat by now, because the first thing your eyes drawn to is that flipping.
I love that hat.
Chair.
Love that hat.
So
yeah, you can see it because I've not got the big one that's masking it. So yeah, that's my Woody hat. Yeah.
I'm also wondering if Jamie's got the red fleece on, whether he's got Jamie and a phone number written on his back as well.
yeah. Jamie looks like he's in the jungle. Yeah.
I'll watch it a week. There you go.
Is it?
No, it's
not. It? No, I was going to say. All right, I tell you what, let's move on, because we do want to. I'm desperate for Stu to talk about his video in the comments. So,
I feel like
Stu,
on the spot here.
Oh, mate, listen, you'll be fine. I'll jump in at some point as well.
Oh, do you not want to talk about this, Stu? Don't, if you don't.
Oh no, I don't care about talking about it. I just haven't planned anything.
Oh no, it's fine. Just listen. You don't need to. Looking at your replies to the comments, Stu, you don't need to plan anything, mate. Just shoot from the hip.
Can you please though put, when we talk about this, overlay those comments, because people need to see them.
I will. I'll try and, while you're talking, I'll try and pull some of them up so we can have a little conversation about them while you're talking about them. So talk about your video and talk about some of the comments, Stu, and then if I can find them, I'll. Oh, someone's giving you €2 though, Stu. They're giving you a super like €2.
Oh, really?
That's all right, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
Can't be doing bad then.
Anyway, carry on. Tell us about the.
I put this video out last week about gear because it does feel like when you put YouTube on these days, it is just incessant talking about gear and just this never-ending stream of, this camera has come out. Here's my review on it, and it's identical to every other review on it, and all that sort of bollocks. And anyway, I got watching some reviews on the Z6 III because I've just bought this Z6 III as a backup camera to my Z7 II, and I've been sailing a bit close to the wind for the past year or so without a backup camera, so I desperately needed one. And anyway, I got watching these reviews, and some of the just absolute nonsense you see in these reviews from people who, not knocking them because it's just what they do, but they're basically just desk reviewers. They're not photographers in any real world sense. But because they've got such big platforms, obviously a lot of people listen to them, and it's anyway, go and watch the video if you're interested. But some of the comments I was getting from clearly gear nerds who had tuned into this video expecting a review of the Z6 III because the Z6 III was in the thumbnail. Now, if you watch I wasn't clickbaiting anyone. There's nothing in it that's not factually correct. But if you watch the first 30 seconds of the video, it's pretty apparent I'm not doing a review of a Z6 III. I'm talking about gear in general. But anyway, some of the comments I was getting from some of these gear nerds who were obviously very disappointed that I hadn't done this review, and I was clickbaiting apparently and all that sort of stuff, which of course I wasn't. But the other thing was I was getting quite a lot of comments because the kind of general message I was wanting to get across to people is just for landscape photography specifically. I think we can all agree that we're long past the point of needing to actually worry about the quality of the gear that we're using, basically.
Absolutely.
And we were saying about the lenses there, and flexibility over marginal image quality gains and stuff. I mean, all of this gear, to be honest, is going to get the job done. There's no kind of sugarcoating that, and anyone who says otherwise is, I think personally, just sort of they're more into the gear than actually taking pictures. But anyway, I was getting a lot of these daft comments about because I'm using expensive gear, I'm in no position to lecture people on, you can use any gear, and it was a bit sort of hypocritical, I guess some of these comments were. But the bit I guess we're going to talk about the comments, the funny bit is that I think what I've found, and I don't know about you guys on YouTube, is that over the years I've been doing it, there seems to be this kind of strange expectation I find from the viewer that creators are somehow providing some sort of service, like it's a service service client relationship or something, and how if they make a negative comment, and I don't mind negative comments, I don't really care, people are free to comment how they like, but that has to work both ways. You can't be outright rude to someone in a comment and kind of try and basically troll them and then expect not to get it back. Now, for anyone watching this and they're thinking twice about trolling me in comments, trust me now, I see it as a big sport. I think it's absolutely hilarious. So if someone wants to if someone wants to give me some abuse, then I'll treat you like an idiot and give you a greater level of abuse back at you. But what I always find interesting is that when you do that, there's almost this kind of shock from the person that you've somehow had the temerity to respond in that kind of manner, and you think, well, I'm not providing you a service, mate. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I don't give a shit whether you watch it or not. But I've had quite a few of these where you sort of respond back and you say, look, you're a bit of an idiot here, go away. and they're sort of quite shocked. But I put a pinned comment, just sort of thanking people generally about, you know, engaging with the video and whatnot. And I put another comment underneath it, basically saying that if you're one of the 0.1% who I think the words I used was mouth breathing idiots.
We lost Stuart for a minute there. Mid-sentence, his phone battery ran out, but he's back now. Oh, blimey, Stu, your head's shiny.
You can't help yourself, can you?
I can't help myself. It's only because you said, like, literally a minute ago, you'd have to put it on my shiny head.
Oh, great lighting.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. It's, I mean, third position of the night, Stu. For some people, that's
tour of his bedroom.
Yeah. But yeah, these people are stupid, basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're really stupid.
Mouth breathing idiots.
Mouth breathing idiots. I think you got up to the pinned comment.
Yeah, but to pick up on what you were saying, Stu, people do think that you owe them something. Yeah, they think that, and I often find it. So if I get a negative comment on my videos, which I've had quite a few on the recent one, if you respond to their comment, they're almost like, what do I do? He said something back to me. How very dare he? How very dare he reply and not say sorry? People are strange though. People are strange, and I think you'll probably find that was how many views did you? Let's have a look. How many views did you get on that video? More than normal? More than your normal amount, was it?
Oh yeah. It's had like
I think what happens is when you get a lot of views.
Yeah, you get a lot of idiots as well.
Yeah, you pick up people who don't know you, and who might not be watching, knowing the context that you're talking in. So, like, I've just done one, and it's not 16,000, but I normally get like 1,000, 1,500 views. This one's been out a day; it's already at 3,500 views. The people watching it, a lot of those people are new to my channel, and they're new to me, and they don't know the context in what I'm talking, and they probably looked at it thinking it's a totally different video from what it is, and they're offended by that, possibly, or that wasn't not what I'm expecting. So then you get these negative comments. So you just got to laugh at them, really.
The best method that I found, actually, when you got a really stupid comment, I would pin it at the top. I wouldn't reply. I'd pin it at the top.
Yeah.
And then everybody else would comment on their stupid comment.
Yeah.
And I've had a few like that, and lo and behold, they've actually removed their comments. Because obviously everybody else was jumping on them, like having a go at them, and they didn't know what to do. They went into panic mode, and then just removed the comment. I loved it when they did that.
Yeah.
It made me so happy, and I didn't have to lift a finger.
You're medieval at heart, Daz, aren't you? You stick them on the wall for them to be thrown things at, ridicule, public ridicule.
But like what Stu said, if you're ignorant enough to leave a rude comment, then you have to expect a rude comment back. But they don't. They think they can just kind of get away with it because they don't know you don't know them.
Yeah.
The old kind of keyboard warrior kind of mentality. But yeah, it was great when everybody else just all my heavy lifting for me, and they just removed the comments.
Yeah, I know some people say delete the comments. Delete the comments and block the user. I'm really reluctant to do that because I kind of, like you say, Stu, it's almost a sport. I kind of go, all right then, let's have it. If that's what you want, let's have that conversation, because I've got faith in, I mean, my latest video, and I know we've kind of moved off the subject of your video onto mine, and I don't mean to like hijacked it. But my latest video, right? So I was saying in my latest video, I don't like my photos at the moment, right? And I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that I'm seeing a lot of other people's stuff on social media, and and like all this stuff's going, and I'm just sharing, right? So I'm literally just sharing that, because when I put a video out like that, which I do quite regularly, I'm hoping that it resonates with other people, so they go, oh, I feel like that as well. I feel like that. And so he's understanding how I feel, and maybe him talking through his process will help me. People are like, "Are you all right? Are you all right? I'm worried about you. You're not going to, you're not going to jump off a cliff or anything, are you?" I'm like, either that or you're a total idiot. but like I almost need to put a caveat at the beginning of each of my videos going, right, before we start, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just literally just having a conversation about a subject. Please don't worry about me. I'm totally fine. But I get that a lot.
But another great comment that I had, so prior to 2020, all I used to shoot was landscape photography. And then obviously the pandemic came when we couldn't travel. And, you know, most people that have been watching the pubcast for a good few years know that I started shooting wildlife in my garden and then really enjoyed it. So I carried on shooting wildlife because we still couldn't really travel, you know, that far for a year. The whole of 2020, like into 21, I think was a bit of a write-off, really. So the only videos that I was making was wildlife videos. And then someone commented once, if you don't start making landscape videos again, I'm going to unsubscribe. Exactly, as if, like, you know, that was going to send me into panic and go, oh no, Ethel and Wood Green's going to unsubscribe from my channel. Oh my God, I better get up that fell. And I was just thinking, what a stupid comment. Just unsubscribe.
The thing I get quite a lot on when I post videos, I've had people sort of expecting me to want to be growing my channel, and people give me advice and they're like, oh, you should do this, or you should do. I had someone comment saying you should do a what's in your bag video. I mean, the one which got me the most, and it's actually annoyed me quite a bit, was I had someone that kept posting on my video, Hannah, where's Hannah? Why isn't Hannah in more of your videos? You should put Hannah in more of your videos. I
apologise.
And it's like, well,
where is Hannah?
Oh, she's actually not here.
What have you done with her?
Yeah,
she's actually.
In fact, nobody's seen Hannah for about 3 years.
Funny enough, she's not actually in the house today. But yeah, she's and it's like, well, Hannah doesn't come on the videos because she doesn't want to at the moment. She can't be asked, like, and I'm not going to force her to come onto a video because she doesn't want to. And people are like, oh, but you need to get her on. It's like, no, like my you know, I make videos when I feel like making them. If Hannah feels like joining me, she'll join me. We're all fine. But, you know, and someone commenting on my videos is not going to make me want to pressurize Hannah into coming onto videos more often. In fact, I'm going to change the name of my channel to just Sam, because, you know, she hasn't been on the channel for ages. So, but it just annoys me.
Looking up actually to see whether your channel was still called Sam and
it is, and that was it. So I did actually once change it to Bo's Photography, and someone commented and said, "No, don't like it. Change it. It needs to be Sam and Hannah."
I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy with this.
I don't give a monkey's.
My finger is over the unsubscribe button.
I genuinely.
Change it back.
I genuinely couldn't give a monkeys, and you can unsubscribe if you want. Like, it's just, you know, it's not up to me. It's up to Hannah. So, yeah. But it just annoys me when people feel like it feels like they own a part of you. It feels like they have a right to request things from you, and they don't. Yeah.
I saw something. I can't remember who it was from. Recently, I've been watching a few videos about YouTube. And someone said, don't have a personal relationship with your audience, right? Don't be their friend. And I disagree with that, right, to a point, but then I absolutely see as well the point of it. I absolutely see why they're trying to say it. Don't panic. He'll come back. Stu, your vision, your camera's gone.
He's in a very dark room. He's testing that camera. He's testing that sensor out.
He's gone again. Oh no! It's going to be one of them edits, Gary.
Okay, well, I don't think he's coming back, is he? So, all right. So, we seem to have lost Stu. He's been having problems, let's be honest. So I think we'll wrap up that bit of the conversation, but you get the gist. You get the gist of what's going on. And I know it was kind of abruptly ended, but hopefully it's worked for you. Technical issues and all that. Maybe we'll pick it up in a couple of weeks' time when we're back, and maybe Stu can add some more to that. But let's move on now to the last of the evening, because it's been a fucking shit show, hasn't it, this evening? Let's be honest. It's an absolute nightmare. Let's move on. Let's see if anyone can make some noise or disappear. Let's move on to Watch of the Week. So
he says he's going to be back in a sec. Sorry to interrupt you.
Me. Let's not. Let's wait. Let's wait till he comes back. We'll carry on the cover. It'll be fine. No one will ever know. It'll be fine. It's totally fine.
What are you doing on Sunday? Saturday? Editing along?
Oh, Jesus.
Spending a long time editing this?
Yeah. Lining people up and going off. Really? Come on. Actually, I'll tell you what we can do when he comes back. Right? I know this is going to sound silly, but if we all go 3, 2, 1, clap, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I won't put it in the video, but it will help me line up this last bit of where we're at.
Okay.
And then I'll put it in the video. Oh, it's
there
back.
We go.
Here he is.
Another position. What position is that?
Oh, it must be double figures now. So this app, it must be bloody terrible because I as I say, I started at like nearly 100% full battery and it's drained it to 0. I plugged it in and it's just obviously drained quicker than it can do even when it's plugged in. So I'm on the iPad now. I've plugged it in. I've got 28% left.
Oh, well, we'll get this done quick.
I think I should be all right now, but yeah, this is the last resort basically.
Riverside, if you're watching, sort your app out.
I mean, seriously though, that is really poor to drain
It is really
like
poor.
that.
It is really poor. Well, I think we finished that conversation. Well, we didn't really finish that conversation, but we kind of finished that conversation. What we'll do, Stu, is when you're back at home in a couple of weeks' time, if there's anything else, if we get any comments on it or whatever, then we'll resurrect it and bring it back up. But for now, let's move on because we're nearly done anyway, and Stu's only got 28% left, and we're literally draining every single battery in his hotel room, which is not good. So let's talk about before we go. Let's talk about Watch of the Week. So has anyone got a Watch of the Week that they want to talk about this week?
I'll go. Yeah, I'll
okay,
go. I've nothing for me. It's not a television one or film one this week. It's an actual YouTube one because I finished The Diplomat, by the way, which I really did enjoy. So I can recommend that. I watched. It was today actually. I watched a YouTube video from. I think we know this guy.
Was we meant to clap?
Oh shit! Yeah.
What?
I was going to line us all up. Like, so what I said was when Stu comes back, right, just so we can sync everything up when I edit, we'll all go 1, 2, 3, clap. Right. And it totally forgot. Oh, forget it now. Just carry on. Just carry on.
Oh, no. Do you want me to clap?
We could do
in the middle
we
of
could do it
bit?
now.
Let's clap now. Right?
If we went out clap at a different time, it's going to be even worse.
Oh dear. No, sorry. Just carry on.
I'll carry on.
Just carry on. It's fine.
So yeah, I watched the YouTube video today with a guy called Ellis Wood, which I know some of us know.
Oh, the walk.
The walk. Yeah, it was called Just Walk or The Walk
Just
or something
Walk,
like that. Yeah. And, the video was great and he got some really nice pictures, but I just liked his style. I know I've watched his stuff before, but he hasn't got that many subscribers, to be fair to him. He deserves more because, the quality of his work is excellent. He's a great photographer. But his style of videos as well, he's there's no graces with him. There's no nonsense. There's no, bigging up gear or anything like that. He's just him out there thoroughly enjoying himself. And I know he does a lot of mountain fell walking and mountain climbing and stuff and gets to some really, epic places and thoroughly enjoys that experience. And you can tell that from the way he talks in his videos. So I just thought it was just worth giving him a shout, really, because, as I say, I think from a YouTuber, he's got everything. He's got a likable character, nice guy, great photography, and an enjoyable watch. So yeah, he's my watch of the week.
I totally agree with that, and he is a really, really, really good photographer. Yeah. Actually, he's a really good photographer.
I think it's a long overdue big shout out for Ellis.
I think you're right.
I've been out with him a few times, and he's solid photographer. I'd actually, I'd rate him up as being, one of my favorite photographers, actually, as well as being a good mate. So
yeah, he's very good, very likable, very watchable, and good photographer. But a quick word, Ellis. If you're entering a competition entry this year, just remember not too much white on that. Do you remember last year? Bit too much white, wasn't there? Do you remember? Just put a unicorn in there or something. It'd be fine. It doesn't matter if it's from this year anyway. Just you could from whatever year apparently. Anyway, Daz, can he enter the same photo again? I mean, does it matter? Should we just not bother worrying about rules?
So I've been watching Downton Abbey. And I know I'm a bit late to the party with it, but it's really good. Has anyone ever watched it?
No.
Yeah, some of it.
I've seen a few episodes whilst Hannah was watching it.
Well, I think we started watching it about 10 years ago, and that was it. I think we watched about half a season. And we put it on the other day, and now we're watching 2 episodes a night. We're right.
Are you of an age now where you can sort of appreciate it?
I think that's what it is. I can relate to Maggie Smith quite a lot now.
Are you going to watch Call the Midwife next? Is that the next plan?
No, Helen's watched that. She said that was brilliant, actually, but I don't think that's my cup of tea. But Downton Abbey, mate. I don't mind to admit it. It's I'm really enjoying it.
Okay. Sam, you got anything?
Well, I mean, you know me. I'm quite a sort of educated, highbrow kind of guy. And so I always like to think whenever we have a watch of a week, I always like to have something cultural, something, solid and good quality to bring to the party. So I was trying to think of what it is I've actually been watching over the last couple of weeks, or however long it was since we last did one of these recordings. And it's been a selection of things, mainly I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Taskmaster, the early seasons, The Great British Bake Off is a good one, and Richard Osman's House of Games, and that's pretty much the entirety of what I've been watching. So, make of that what you will.
And which one would you say is the best out of those?
Clearly, Richard Osman's House of Games is probably that's top notch viewing. To be fair.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so who's on I'm a Celebrity this year? Because I've not watched that at all. Anyone good?
Colleen Rooney's on it.
Yeah.
Richard
Cole.
Barry McGuigan.
Oh, I like Barry McGuigan.
Yeah, Barry McGuigan.
Danny from
Danny Jones from McFly. Talisa Konstantopoulos from N-Dubs.
So nobody then, really, apart from Barry McGuigan. Yeah, I'll carry on with Downton Abbey, I think. Yeah.
But what I was going to give it, so I don't know whether, am I allowed to include a book in Watch of the Week?
Have you been looking at it?
Is he allowed to? You set the rules.
Has he got pictures?
Is it a picture book?
It is a picture book. It is a picture book,
okay,
and it's a bit of an in-house plug, because I had Adam's Land and Light book delivered to me a couple of days ago, and I was having a look through it this morning. I shared it in the group this morning.
You should have said you'd lost it. He would have sent you another one.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. And I've got to say, it's been one of those things, because it was quite a while in coming. I actually ordered it as a birthday present to myself back a while ago, and I've got to say, I think the weight has just made the anticipation better, and I've got to say,
is it really heavy again? Is it really heavy?
Poor old Sam.
I've got to say, it is, and I know we've got a slight conflict of interest because he's a member of the podcast, but it is pretty impressive. It's just, when you're used to seeing someone's photos on screen and then you see them in print and you just think, boom. There's something about one of the things I find with photography these days. I'm straying back into talking about photography. This isn't very good, is it? One of the things I find about photography these days is I find everything just looks too digital. Even when people even my own photos, when I try not to process them, I look at them and I think it just looks digital.
Is that because you've got a finger over the lens?
Oh, that's probably what it is. Yeah. Too many things.
Did you get that? Did you see?
I did get it. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, But it's just looking at Adam's photos in print, and I just looked at them and I thought they just look real. They just look like photographs of nature, and that's something you just don't see enough of on social media these days. It's just photographs of nature that look like nature, and he just nails it. And yeah, amazing. So that's my watch of the week. Is go and watch Adam's book.
Very good.
Isn't it about time, Stu? You brought a book out.
It's, I keep saying it's in the works. It's I'm waiting actually.
Oh no, don't sell it in the works. You want to go in a much more highbrow bookshop than that, because they knock everything down really cheap. You want to be in like Waterstones or somewhere.
No.
Sorry.
Well, I can tell you, like, Mark Littlejohn.
Well, no, you're telling everybody. You know this is going out, don't you?
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, Mark Littlejohn's writing the foreword to it at the minute, so I'm hoping to get pre-orders out in the not too distant future. So there is a book that is finished, and it'll be getting printed quite soon. So yeah.
Oh, excellent! Excellent news. There you go. You saw it here first. Is there anything you want to recommend this week though, watch wise, Stu, before your battery runs out?
Well, it's actually doing all right. It's holding steady at 28%, so I think I'm all right. Well, every time I get asked this, I'm just seem to be just working my way down Apple TV's bloody series. So I'll recommend something different from Apple this week. We watched a series on BBC a little while ago called The Responder, I think it was called.
Martin Freeman. Is that Martin Freeman?
Yeah. As someone who's got a lot of experience in the city of Liverpool, his accent's not the best, I would say, to be honest. He does an all right Scouse accent, but anyway, the program was really good. It's about a sort of troubled beat policeman, and he's gets mixed up with mafia and drugs and stuff like that, and it's lots of gritty drama, I would say. So
yeah, it's good.
That would be my
recommendation.
enjoyed it. Yeah, I think it's just finished the second series now. So
okay.
I think there'll be another one as well. So, yeah, very good.
Excellent. Well, it's just me then. It's just me, isn't it? Well, I've got this a little bit wrong. So something was on telly last night, and I thought it was. I watched this thing a while back, and then I thought, oh, this is this like he's gone back to follow what he'd done a while back, but it turns out it was just the original thing, but the second episode, which I've seen before. Anyway, that makes no sense. It's a thing called Snow Wolf Family and Me. Have you heard of that? Right, it's a guy called Gordon Buchanan. It's on BBC. He's a wildlife photographer and wildlife videographer, and I've looked this up because I thought, like I said, I've already watched this last year, but I thought this was a new one, but it's actually the second episode of last year's, which is actually 2014. So I must have watched it on a repeat. But it's brilliant. He goes, I'm not sure where he goes, somewhere in the Arctic. I think Canadian. In fact, I've got it here. He's in the Canadian Arctic. Yeah, and he spends like this time with this snow wolf family who've just had these like pups, and they get used to him, and they just spend all this time around him, and he follows them off, and it's just brilliant. He's brilliant. He's really good. He's a really sort of likable, like entertaining sort of narrator and a presenter, but he follows these pups around, and then in the second episode he goes back after a while to see how they're all getting on. It's brilliant viewing. I watched it last year, and I thought this was like another season or another series of it, if you like, where he was following them up. I didn't realize it was that old, but it's well worth watching. It's on iPlayer for the next 7 days. I don't know what happens to it after that, whether it disappears off and you can't watch it, but it's so good. It's so good, and he's so engaging. He's such a really lovely bloke, and just watching the struggle these snow wolves have to survive in this sort of Arctic sort of environment is just fantastic. So that's my watch of the week. Definitely, really, really good. And I'm a celeb.
I'm a big fan of Gordon Buchanan.
You're not?
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Gordon Buchanan. Yeah, he does.
No, but he's not a celeb. That's what we're saying.
No, I'm not celeb.
No. Definitely not.
Very good, very good. Yeah, no, he's great though, isn't he? I take it. Has he done other stuff? Because I've only ever really seen this.
Yeah, he's done loads. I mean, he used to do a lot of stuff for Spring Watch and Autumn Watch as well, I think. But he's done he's done stuff on otters on Mull. He's done he actually a really good Christmas viewing was as he did a trek with a sort of reindeer sledge trek in Lapland somewhere.
Yeah. But he's excellent. He really is really, really engaging and really good. So I really enjoyed that. So yeah. Okay. Right. So I think with that we'll call it a day. Before we go, don't forget to get your photos in for the competition. The email address will be in the description below. And the closing date will be 23:59 on the 31st of December, but try and get them in earlier than that, and we'll judge them in the new year. We're not here next week. Why aren't we here next week? There's a few people unavailable, right? Daz, you're not available, are you?
I'm in the lakes.
Yeah. And Stu, you're not available.
No, I'm in
and Adam's not available. So I think that's probably why we're not here next week. But we are back the next week after that, and we've got another guest on, which I'm looking forward to, which should be good fun. And then we're actually booked up. Oh, yes, by the way, Courtney Victoria. We've got Courtney Victoria back booked in. She's coming in the last one before Christmas. So that should be quite entertaining. So, yeah, we're back in 2 weeks' time anyway. And hopefully we'll all be batteried up and it won't be such an absolute nightmare to edit as this one's going to be. So anyway, Daz, why haven't you interrupted? You always interrupt. I've been waiting for you to interrupt. I'm almost like filling now, waiting for Daz to interrupt, and you haven't.
That's why I didn't, you see, because I thought he's on edge. Yeah. He's on edge. He thinks any minute now, and I thought, no, I'm just going to kind of make him sweat.
Yeah, is he or isn't he? He's not. He's not. All right, then. Okay.
What I will say.
Oh, right. You can interrupt them instead. Right, fine.
All I was going to say was I think that Premier Inn should sponsor this week's video, because I think Stu's done a fantastic job of showing how big the Premier Inn rooms are from every angle, including the toilet.
Different angles.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Keep expecting Lenny Henry to
ceiling and everything.
Yeah.
I know. People pay a lot of money for marketing like this.
Yeah, very, very impressive. How's your stay been so far, Stu?
Apart from sort of dodgy charging and stuff like that, it's
yeah. Okay. Other than that, good. Okay. All right. Well, anything else you want to add, Jamie, before we go?
No, you finish off. You do such a great job.
Thank you very much. Yeah, right. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye.
See you
guys. Bye. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Good luck, Gal. Good luck with that one.
I know.
That was a nightmare.